United Nations Global Compact, an organization committed to driving a collective action on anti-corruption, took its engagement with Nigerian small and medium enterprises to the next level with another robust workshop in Lagos. It was an opportunity to explore the development of an MSME governance and controls toolkit in Nigeria. Mr. Soji Apampa, CEO of the Convention of Business Integrity, in the opening session shared the components of the governance and controls framework and why it was critical for the MSMEs in the country.
The first thing is that SMEs will all benefit from a certain action, and in this case, it is desisting from corruption, doing business without corruption. We will all benefit from it, but it has an associated cost in a place like Nigeria that makes it implausible that any individual SME on its own can or will undertake and try and solve that problem on their own. You agree that we have a collective action problem, that there's a problem that except we come together as a group, we cannot solve. We agree that the problem of corruption cannot be solved by one organization. Very often, government believes that they can solve it on their own. And you would expect that through all the regulations that are given and all the stern warnings, but with the best intention in the world, the government doesn't have all the resources that is necessary to run after 180 million people. It's like saying that there's a whole bank of taps here. They're all leaking. The water is leaking, and we station one man with a blala called ICPC, or one man with a blala called the FCC, and 18 million people are coming with their containers to fetch. After ICPC runs after one set, another set are fetching. That's what you will get. So every 4 years, we will have a new set of people that we have to run after. So except we do what they call prevention and close all those taps, we have no chance really of dealing with the issue of corruption. So government on its own cannot deal with the problem of corruption. Business will tell you, leave us alone. We prefer self-regulation. But even self-regulation requires three things. Number one, you have to have a way of measuring, a standard against which to measure your actual or anticipated behavior. So if we have not all agreed how we should behave, or we're all behaving according to different standards, then it will be very difficult to have self-regulation. Secondly, you need incentives, some things to make you want to do the right thing and avoid doing the wrong things. If they are not there, it's also problematic. And thirdly, you need something motivating you internally to keep focused on doing the right thing. Now, we're going to look a bit more at what business can do on its own, which is why we're coming together in collective action. Some also then talk about stakeholders, that no, if we have strong civil society and we have people making noise about this issue, then we will put corruption in its right place. But we've been trying that now for decades, and we're still struggling with the issue of corruption. And we're suggesting that actually all those groups need each other. You need government to function well, you need business to function well, and you need civil society to function well in order for us together as the three spheres to deal with the issue of corruption. The problem has been it has not been coordinated. We have not had a joint approach and a joint objective to work to. So it has been a bit difficult to achieve that. Many funders are looking at SMEs and are saying, well, I don't think SMEs really value acting with integrity at the moment. And the SMEs are saying, well, we may not all have the capacity to do what it is that you're asking. And where you find that you don't value integrity and you don't have the capacity, then you can only go on with business as usual. You just do it as everybody else is doing it. But we're hoping that change can come if there is a clear competitive advantage for putting in the effort. Which is why, from everything that had been said so far in this series, the participants identified access to finance as a major constraint. Meaning, if it will help me get finance, maybe I can put in the extra effort to try now to act with business integrity, because it will help me achieve what I need to achieve. And some don't realize that even if they have the capacity to do the right thing, but they don't value it and they don't act with it, eventually they will be rejected. Many more large companies are looking carefully at who it is they have as a supplier, who works with them, and therefore the opportunities start to reduce for those who have the capacity to do the right thing but are choosing to do business as usual instead. So in the end, we're hoping that at least these two categories can be helped by having a toolkit, because the toolkit will improve capacity. It will show you what is required, explain to you how to achieve it, and hopefully you will get support in achieving it. Therefore, your capacity will improve. And if you value it because of what you're going to get out of it, then at least many more SMEs will be choosing business integrity over the path of corruption that is available to everybody today.
The head, United Nations Global Compact's Nigeria office, Olajobi Makinwa, speaks on the progress that has been made in mobilizing MSMEs on a collective action against corruption.
We started this about 2 years ago, wanting to work with MSMEs, ensuring that we want them to be attractive in terms of the way they operate their businesses, ensuring that they operate with integrity. Because as you know that many of them believe that if you can't beat them, you should join them. There's no level playing field. If everyone is involved in corruption, then I should, because I cannot survive without doing that. But at the Global Compact, we believe that you can, especially working together. We see that we have the same problem of corruption. I cannot fight it on my own, but when we work together collectively, we can fight corruption. And that's why we started with them about 2 years ago, saying, what is the business case? And if we do have a business case, then let's work together to address this cancer. There are so many issues that the MSMEs have identified that they need help with. And one of them is that we should have a toolkit to guide them on what they should do. And also we have a self-assessment tool. We started with the toolkit, which shows in terms of the regulatory compliance, the laws that they should abide by, and then the sort of policies also. And also for them, for example, to have a board. We all, just this morning, every one of them agreed that it's important for them to have a board. There might be some challenges, but it's good for you to have a board. It's good for you to have to have controls in your organization. It's good for you to have your books in place. So if you do that, then you'll be attractive, even to the banks, to those who want to give you loans. So it's good. If you are not operating with integrity, then it's very difficult for donors, for banks actually to advance loans to you. So, and we all agree that integrity is very important in business, and therefore when you come together under the rubric of the Global Compact, it's very helpful. And of course we're grateful to Siemens that has provided us the funding for this project for the past 2 years, and we hope that many other companies and other organizations, other funders will come to help, because this is an ongoing work which we will not want to stop.
Member of the steering committee of the UN Global Compact, Ayotola Jagun, also gave further insight on the work of aiding MSMEs in coordinating efforts in governance and control measures.
Because we realize that corruption can only be won collectively, we began in September of 2016 through the Siemens initiative to gather together MSMEs in Nigeria to come together to look at the areas that they battle with when it comes to corruption, and to see how we can collectively come up with various projects that will make doing business much easier for them. It's in line with the government strategy of ease of doing business, and we know that one of the things that adds to the cost of doing business in Nigeria and the difficulty of doing business in Nigeria is the whole issue of corruption. There were various areas that we looked at. One of the key areas for the MSMEs was how to register. They want to come up. A lot of MSMEs are accused of operating below the radar. They want to actually operate above the radar. But to do so, one of the key things they looked at was, first of all, the multiplicity of government agencies requiring them to register with them, and then the difficulty of being able to even register with these agencies, the time frame it took, and the cost it took to be able to register successfully, so that they're able to then promote their products, promote their businesses and services.
One major takeaway from today's workshop by the United Nations Global Compact is the enthusiasm from MSMEs and corporates on the collective action on anti-corruption. This marks a positive sign that there are brighter days for a Nigerian business environment that values transparency and integrity.